Hi guys. Hello there. You can't see our faces.
No, our faces are gone.
That's because we have our camera pointed down at this lovely little table here. And I have Jess here with me. It's Sarah. Hi guys.
This is Jessica's hand.
And we are filming my eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. We decided it would be easier to go individually on the eyeshadow palette declutters because I have
How many
93 eyeshadow palettes.
Holy stuffing things.
So I've got my eyeshadow palettes stacked on either side over here, and then there's a couple on the ground, and Jess is holding a couple on her lap. But I wanted to go through one by one and declutter my eyeshadow palettes, and then Jessica will do hers, and we figured we would try to do like the more traditional style of the declutter video.
Yes, and I'm here because I'm moral support, and I'm going to be talking some shit to her about palettes, and
She's
then
gonna
I'm
talk
going to
some sense into me.
Yeah,
while
I'm gonna
also
be stealing some if I want them.
Yeah, she's gonna steal some eyeshadow palettes as I get rid of them.
Yup.
All right, so let's jump into this declutter. So the first palette I have right here is the Marc Jacobs The Vamp eyeshadow palette. This is a very pretty eyeshadow palette that I picked up at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, one of the two. And I will be decluttering this palette because I think I've used this once and I bought it like 2 years ago, guys.
No kidding.
Bye bye Marc Jacobs.
Bye bye Marc Jacobs.
All right, next eyeshadow palette is going to be one that is very close to my heart. This is a Profusion eyeshadow palette right here that was given to me by my little baby boy Caleb as a gift. And this palette will never leave my collection. This is a forever keep, so that's one for my keep. Next eyeshadow palette is going to be from the brand Moira, and this is the Little Fairy Tales palette right here. And I will be keeping this one. I absolutely love and adore this one.
That's beautiful.
So much. You can see it got a little bit messy, but I love it. Next is a little eyeshadow quad that I'll be keeping solely for sentimental purposes. This is the Maybelline Natural Smokes eyeshadow palette. This was the first eyeshadow palette that I ever really seriously got into and bought repeatedly. So I won't get rid of this one like yet. Now we have a Wet n Wild trio in Silent Treatment. This is a very, very old eyeshadow trio, so I will go ahead and declutter this one.
She gonna declutter it, y'all. She gonna declutter it.
Gonna declutter it. Next is a Wet n Wild 6-pan eyeshadow palette. This is in California Roll. This one is old, but it also holds a little bit of sentimental value. I think this is the eyeshadow palette we picked up when we kind of had to go to Tina's wedding day, our older sister's wedding day. Somebody got a smudge of makeup on her dress, and we ran to CVS to try to find like a tied-out pen or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was here. It was the new summer release, and we were pumped, so we grabbed them.
Yes.
That I'll keep.
She gonna keep it.
I'm gonna keep it. Next is the BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible palette. As you guys know, or if you've been around, you know we gave this palette away a few years ago. This is a beautiful palette, but I just don't reach for it anymore. I kind of lean more towards red eyeshadow and orange eyeshadow, and this is a beautiful like everyday palette, but not going to keep it.
Not gonna keep it.
So part of my biggest collection, and we'll kind of go through these pretty quickly, is my Morphe collection. So I'm going to run through these real fast. This is the Morphe 25C right here. This is the Hey Girl Hey, I think. Never going to get rid of this. Absolutely adore this eyeshadow palette. All right, my next Morphe palette is going to be this one right here. This is the Morphe and Jeffree Star eyeshadow palette. Now when I open this thing, this is not going anywhere. Can you guys see the boopin damage to it, like right here? Do you see that? The boopin damage, the boopin damage. She got a hold of this eyeshadow palette and she put stripes all over her body. It was very sweet. Not getting rid of this. Love
you
me
guys
some
could
Morphe.
see my face right now. It's you asked for it.
I did not.
She asked for it.
This one right here is the Morphe release from, I think it was June for Pride Month. And this right here is the Morphe, I think it's Live in Color, Live in Color, one of those two. So really, really like this. Not going anywhere. One of my only like super bright, colorful palettes. Ooh, next is Morphe 25D, Boy Oh Boy. Right here. This is just a beautiful all matte warm tone. All kinds of different shades of warmness going on there. Gonna be keeping this one as well.
Herb curse, she is.
Spoiler alert, Morphe ain't going nowhere. So let's go through the rest of them. This is the original. Can you guys tell by the old packaging? This is the original Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. Can you see how much I love this shade right here? And this shade right here. And this shade right here. I love this eyeshadow palette. It is super old. And like realistically, I should probably get rid of it. It was bought January 2014? No, 15. And yeah, should get rid of it, but I won't because I love this palette.
Her love it. Her love it. Her love it. Love it. Love it.
Next is my original baby, the one that made me 100% in love with Morphe. This is the Morphe 35O, the original. Can you see how much I love this eyeshadow palette?
If she loves it so much, she should marry it.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe. Not going anywhere. Again, we're going to go through Morphe because not getting rid of anything. Morphe.
Morphe.
This is the Morphe 35OS. This is the all shimmer. If I can open it for you. Whoa. Right here. Can you see it? Can you see it? It's so pretty. I love that one too. Hit pan on a few shades in there too. Not going anywhere. Keep 5 ever. 5 ever and ever. Next is Morphe 35O Matte. Right there. Hit some pan on some of these shades. I love 35O. I love the 35O family. I have all of them. You'll see.
She's nuts.
And then I have the 35R. This is a very beautiful palette. Lots of really pretty shades in this one. As you can see, I use and abuse my Morphe eyeshadows. I am a Morphe girl through and through. Next is the 35K.
This is my baby.
This is Jessica's favorite Morphe palette. I love this one. The reason why this one right here is so broken is because it showed up broken, I think, when Jess ordered it, and then she emailed the company and got a new palette sent out to her, and we just kept this one, and yeah, so I got to get the 35K as well. So I like this palette. Very pretty. Good everyday eyeshadow palette. Next is going to be the 3502. Ooh, let's get rid of that. Right here. Really, really pretty warm shades. Love the reds. Love all the orangey colors. Love everything about this palette. Not going anywhere.
What's this one, dog?
35V, again, Morphe. I have so many. Ooh. This one is like super colorful, super pretty. I love all the blues. I tend to use these blues, which is really surprising for me. I love all the shades in this palette too. I just love. Can I say how much I love Morphe enough? Do you think?
I swear to God, y'all.
Next is 35H.
This one is a good one.
This one is a good one. Let's just keep putting the plastic over there. The only reason I kept that plastic is because it had all the names on it. But this has got a really great variety of shades. I love all, obviously this side really speaks to me.
That teal is out of control, guys.
The teal is out of control. Jessica got it, I didn't get it, and then I swatched hers and was like, okay, I have to have it. So,
yeah.
Keeping. And I do rotate through my eyeshadow palettes quite a bit. Next is going to be the 35G Bronze Goals right here. This one is just bronzy, beautiful wonderfulness, and I absolutely adore it.
That's really good for fall, dog.
It is.
You should use that more.
I just used it the other day.
Oh.
Oh, look. We have another 35O. This is the 35O Fierce by Nature. 3503, the newest one. This is a weird angle for me to hold this, but that's okay. It's got the beautiful greens, and everyone was like, you don't need it. It's exactly the same if you have the other 35O palettes. And I'm like, I know, but guess what? I don't care if I need it. I want it. So I bought it the day it released, and super happy. Love it.
Need 'em, want 'em, got 'em.
We're almost done with Morphe, promise. There's only like, I don't know, 7 more to go.
Good Lord.
Next is the Jaclyn Hill palette. So I had the first one, and then when she announced this one, of course I had to get it. This right here is the Jaclyn Hill collaboration with Morphe, the big one that came out just a couple years ago. I didn't get it when it first launched, but I did eventually pick it up, and I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. You can see I do really use and abuse my eyeshadow palettes. That's because I try to rotate through them. So while I have a ton, I do not neglect very many.
None of them go to
everything's
waste.
No.
Or without love.
This right here is the Morphe, I think it's the 24G Grand Slam.
What'd you do there?
I accidentally got the plastic caught in it.
Ouchies.
Part of the reason why I hate the plastics on these things. This palette is absolutely beautiful. I love this eyeshadow palette. It's really great. This shade right here and this shade right here, 2 of my absolute favorite eyeshadows. Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
That's all of the big Morphe eyeshadow palettes. Let's talk about the 15D, the Day Slayer. Oh no!
Oh, it's falling apart. The world is falling apart.
And it's my favorite. shadow that's in this palette right here.
It's that one that fell out.
It fell out, which is the one I've hit massive pan on because that's my absolute favorite eyeshadow palette. I used this palette today. I'm trying to angle it so you guys can see it. I used this palette today with help from another palette that I'll talk about here in a minute. Never gonna get rid of this one either. Love these palettes. I might need to get new ones soon.
Pay it broken.
Pay it broken, as Alice would say. Next is the 25B Bronze Mocha, right here. Love these. These are starting to get really worn and torn, and I know that they sell them at my Ulta, so here eventually I'm going to have to repurchase the two 25s. 25B, staying. This is 25A Copper Spice. Also used and abused. I love these palettes.
None of my palettes look like that.
All of my palettes look like this because I use and abuse my eyeshadows. Staying, as if I needed to say that, the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault. This is, which one is this?
I don't know, but I want to steal
Armed
that
and
from you.
Gorgeous, right here.
Maybe
I
I'll buy that
absolutely
one.
love Armed and Gorgeous. Staying. Ring the Alarm from Jaclyn Hill right here.
That one's pretty too.
This is very red and warm, and I absolutely adore this. Again, just check out all that abuse. And then I think my last Morphe eyeshadow palette is the 12P. This is the very first. I can't open it.
There we go.
This, I almost dropped something. This is the very first rainbow palette I ever purchased, and we purchased it to do a comparison between this and the Urban Decay Electric.
Yeah.
So,
If I remember right, it stood up to the challenge.
It did stand up to the challenge. We both liked this. We both liked the Urban Decay Electric. They were pretty on par with each other. So,
yeah.
Really awesome.
Go ahead.
All right, let's move into the next grouping of eyeshadow palettes and see if I'm going to be getting rid of any of these. This one I'm not getting rid of. This was just purchased.
Opens from the side, bro.
Oh yeah, last night. This was on clearance at our Walgreens. This is the Wet n Wild 10-pan palette in Cosmic Collision. Absolutely love this.
And which palette did you say it was like?
I think it reminds me of the Natasha Denona Gold palette, which I still haven't purchased, but I plan on purchasing here in the very near future. So I'm going to keep that because I used this with that Day Slayer one, and I absolutely love it. Comfort Zone will never go anywhere. Like,
Never, ever.
Will never, ever, ever go anywhere. I love this palette. It's a classic, and this is the old formula before I guess they changed everything and went to this style. So Comfort Zone, stay 5 ever. Temporary Solutions is another one of my first real rainbow eyeshadow palettes.
So pretty.
So pretty. That red. These three eyeshadows right here I absolutely adore and will keep forever.
5 ever, in fact.
This is the Wet n Wild and Pac-Man collection. Picked it up a few months ago, never really used it, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nutso.
Okay, now onto this pile. This is the eyeshadow palette. Jessica bought this as part of a duo. This is the You Can Be Twilight 2, I think I have.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's one of the You Can Be Twilight palettes. These are comparable to Huda Beauty palettes. We ended up returning the Huda Beauty palette in preference of these ones, so I'm going to keep this because this is an absolutely beautiful palette. Word. Dew Color Natural Earth palette. I absolutely love this. The reds in here, like real. And then this shade right here in Sing. Stunning. Absolutely beautiful. This is an amazing palette. I like Dew Color.
Dew Color, I haven't tried them yet. I want to. No, I have tried them. I have one palette by them.
You do.
I just haven't really used it yet.
All right, this is the Manny MUA the Lunar Beauty Strawberry Dreams palette. This is the only thing I have from Manny MUA, and I bought this when I was down in Vegas at the Morphe store. Gonna keep this guy. Absolutely love it. It smells amazing. Next is gonna be my Sephora Pro. Gonna keep this one too. I know I'm keeping a lot. I know, but we'll get into some, I promise.
That yellow is pretty killer.
This has been used and abused.
Right.
I absolutely adore this, but I swear to God, I do not remember paying $70 for this eyeshadow palette.
Maybe you bought it during a VAB sale.
Maybe.
And that's why you don't remember spending so much money on it.
I don't
But
think
these
I would have
bitches is
bought it
expensive.
if it was $70. I don't know.
You done did it.
But I'm keeping that one. Next is going to be my Profusion Sienna's palette. Got this when we weren't really super like following makeup at all. It was just randomly like at Walmart, and I was like, hey, what are these big old palettes? And I absolutely love this one. You can see I use it. I use my eyeshadow palettes. My next Profusion one is going to be my Mirage palette. This is the one where like we got it and then like a month later the brand announced like the release of the palette.
Yeah, our Walmart had it just kind of like piled up in a corner on an end cap, like not displayed. It was just piled up, like somebody forgot that they set it there.
Super pretty. You can see our lights reflecting off of it.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely a beautiful palette.
If you see that palette, get it. Actually, if you see any Profusion,
get it. I've been meaning to get more Profusion.
Me too.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about Amorous. This is the Femme Fatale palette. This is a 32 pan eyeshadow palette by a brand that sells their eyeshadows for $15. This is a $15 eyeshadow palette. This is absolutely beautiful. This is like perfect for fall. It is super, like, it's got a lot of reds, some beautiful purples in it. Not going to get rid of this palette. Next is going to be the Amorous Noir Fatale. I think this was the first big one we bought from them, right? Maybe? Yeah, this
probably.
is our first big eyeshadow palette that we bought from them, and this is just absolutely beautiful palette. Love this. Next eyeshadow palette from them is going to be their newest 32 pan palette. This is the Nude Fantasies palette right here.
Nude Fantasia.
Nude Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Love this palette. This is brand new. I've used it once or I think I've used it actually about 2 times, and I do love it. I just buy a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So it takes me a second, but they usually get rotated in. This is the Cake Pop palette. Love this palette. We actually saw this palette. This is a $15 eyeshadow palette. We actually found this eyeshadow palette at our Marshalls on sale for $30. And we were like, the fuck are you doing, Marshalls?
Yeah.
Still gonna keep it though. Alright, a palette I can get rid of. This is the Amorous Flora palette. This eyeshadow palette is very pretty, but it is just not something that I reach for. It is not something that I gravitate to, which you would think I would because of like this shade, these shades right here, and this little section right here. But I just don't use it.
Pigmentation isn't there.
Yeah, it's just not as good as like their 32 pan palettes, so this one's gonna go bye-bye. Next is going to be my Makeup Shack Nightfall. We did a review on these and absolutely loved them, like this one with the yellow and all the reds and things like that. But I've used this a few more times and I've noticed that my eyeshadow's coming out super patchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use it a couple more times, and then if it keeps acting funky, maybe I'll let Jess have it and see if it works fine for her. But I don't know what's going on. It's just not working right anymore. It's not even that old. It's like a month and a half, 2 months old maybe. Not even that old. So gonna hang on to it, but you know, not super thrilled with it right now. And then my last Makeup Shack palette is the Muse palette right here. This one I haven't used recently, so I don't know if it's acting all funny, so I'm going to run it through the same test. We'll see what happens. These are really beautiful eyeshadows, and they're huge eyeshadow pans, but it's just not, for some reason, they stopped working for me. Okay, next grouping of eyeshadows. This one is brand new, as in I literally just got it in the mail today. This came from BoxyCharm. It did not come in my BoxyCharm, and that is because the one that came in my BoxyCharm was broken, but it wasn't like seriously broken. So I had been emailing back and forth with BoxyCharm about the delivery of my box because I was having some issues with it. And when it finally showed up, I let them know, hey, I did receive the box, but FYI, my, Marvelous Mauves showed up a little tiny bit broken. It's not terrible, but it is broken, and I did include a picture of it. And they were like, no worries, we'll send you a new one. So they actually sent me Sassy Siennas, and I got this today. This is so pretty. I can't wait to use it.
It's all mattes too, so I'm really excited
mattes
for her to delve into the world of an all matte eyeshadow palette.
Oh no, I'll bring in some shimmer.
She's such a shit.
I like shimmer. There's lights and there's our camera. Okay, so keeping that one. 2 more Wet n Wild eyeshadow trios that I really should get rid of.
You're killing it, dog. She's killing this.
Right here, this is Walking on Eggshells. This is super duper old, so I'm going to go ahead and actually, you guys can see, look at the wear and tear on this packaging.
You can't even see it anymore.
I'm going to throw this one out. And then this one is Knock on Wood. This one is, you know, worn and torn, so I'm actually going to go ahead and throw this one out as well. These two were purchased around the same time, which means they were probably purchased in like 2013. So super duper old.
No, those were definitely purchased after I moved up here, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I had those for a long time.
Old.
So those two can go.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's talk about these two together. These are LA Girl palettes. I have the Nudist and I have Feverish. These were palettes I purchased because Young, Wild, and Polished did a video review on them, and I very much so like these. These are very inexpensive. They were like $9 or $10 at Ulta. I like them a lot. I'm going to keep that one.
Keeping them.
And then the Nudist. She did like this really pretty grungy look with this palette that I decided to try to recreate, and I love these. These are really great. And now that I'm doing this, hopefully they'll be getting a little bit more attention. Okay. Found one more amorous palette. This is the Hey Babe palette. It's a very cute packaging, and it has lots of really pretty like pinks and oranges in there. I don't use this, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it.
Wow, I love that palette.
I just don't use it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Somebody else can use it and hopefully give it some love. As an FYI, everything that we do say we're getting rid of is going to be given to friends, family, and coworkers. Yep. So,
after it's sanitized properly, it will be passed on.
Yes. All right, next eyeshadow palette is going to be my Lorac Summer Glow palette. I've had this palette for a long time. Jessica gifted me this palette after she moved to Reno from San Diego. And I love this palette. So, I'm going to keep this palette.
Fun little tidbit, that was the first high-end palette I ever bought.
And she bought it for me. Mm-hmm. Nice.
I was too scared to buy myself high-end makeup.
Yeah. Here is a Lorac Unzipped palette. I've had this bad boy forever, and I absolutely love this palette. Like, I think at one point I gave it to Jessica, and then I regretted it. You can see me right there. And I regretted it, so
I returned it to her.
She gave it back to me, and I'm so happy to have it back. This is a very basic everyday palette, but I love it a lot.
Basic bitch.
Basic bitch palette. Alright, this palette right here came in a BoxyCharm as well. This is the Tarte Face Shaping palette. This is like a contoury palette with all these shades could technically be used to contour except for like the black, just because this just all the tones in here. You can use it to highlight and bronze and things like that. It is a very pretty palette, but I don't use it. I think I've used it twice since I got it, and I think this was 2 months ago that this was in the BoxyCharm, so I'm not going to just let it sit in my collection and die. Jessica's going to take that palette. Jessica took that palette. Bye.
It's mine now.
It's hers now.
Mine.
Okay. Too Faced right here. Too Faced Sweet Peach. I was once like super on board with Too Faced, and then I've kind of lost interest. Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I love this palette. This palette will not be going anywhere. I need to start using her more. You can see that she did have a lot of love, but you know, you start building up 93 eyeshadow palettes, you start forgetting about some of your babies. Which, you know, also brings me to the Too Faced Semi-Sweet. Right here, again, this was a palette that I was super pumped about, that I super needed to have. And yeah, she hasn't been touched in a long time, so hopefully this is going to help me remember what I have so that I can keep using it.
Keeping it, keeping it, keeping it.
Same with the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. This is the first high-end palette I ever bought myself. I was blown away when I went to Ulta and saw how much money this thing was. I had no concept of how much money they were. They were $49.
How much did you think it was going to be?
Ooh, between 25 and 30.
Yeah, that's actually something that I thought it was going to be when I wanted the Naked One palette. I was like, that's gotta... I told my mom when she said she would buy it for me for Christmas. I was like, Mom, that's like a $30 eyeshadow palette.
No.
No, girl, no.
So, keeping this. Next is going to be my Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. Love this palette. Ooh. It's a very pretty, just like romantic looking palette. I do love this. I don't use it as often as I would like, but when I do use it, I'm like, dang, that's just pretty. It's just very pretty. Keeping. Naked Smoky. This one I had at one point actually decluttered, and then I regretted it. So, right here, I pulled it out of the declutter box and brought it back into my collection because I was like, I can't let her go. I don't even know if you guys can see that with all the light reflecting off of this packaging. But y'all know what the Naked Smoky looks like. She's staying put. Urban Decay. Born to Run. I adore this palette. This palette is not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. This is one of the first palettes I wanted when we started getting back into makeup back in like May. Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
Keeping, I have another Urban Decay palette over here. This is the Urban Decay Ultimate Naked Basics.
It's so pretty.
It is super pretty, and I was so pumped about this eyeshadow palette when we first got it, and I used it for so long, and then nothing. So I'm going to declutter this one. Bye-bye. You were good to me, but you will go to a good home where somebody will love you.
That makes me sad.
Oh, you'll be all right, dog.
Thanks,
Is that
dog.
all my Urban Decay? I think so.
I believe, no. Here you go. I have one more.
Ooh, don't drop anything.
I won't drop anything.
She's playing freaking Jenga with my eyeshadow palettes right now. Urban Decay Naked Honey, brand new to my collection. This girl ain't going anywhere. I adore her. So pretty.
Her.
This was one I swore I wasn't going to buy just because it was on my declutter, and then I saw a video and saw swatches and saw someone use it, and I was like, oh shit, I have to have it.
Oh shit.
Oh
You've got
shit,
to get it.
son has to have it. So my next one is going to be my Violet Voss Holy Grail. I bought this while we were not filming. It's all dusty. I bought this while we were not filming, but it was a Sephora VIB, and I was like, ooh, gotta get this.
Ooh.
And I got it, and you can see I used it quite a bit. I really liked it when I first got it, but then as I buy more and more eyeshadow, I realized that Violet Voss does nothing to excite me. This palette is beautiful, and you would think that it would excite me, but it does not. So, no, not going to keep this one. This one can go bye-bye and go to a loving home. Alright, my next eyeshadow palette will not be going anywhere. This is the first expensive eyeshadow palette I ever had. It was gifted to me by my ex-husband, and I adore this eyeshadow palette. I have burned through 2 of the eyeshadows in here and had to go back to MAC and replace them. This palette was before, I think MAC might have lowered their prices on their on their single eyeshadows. This was $10 per eyeshadow.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How many pans is that?
15.
You spent 150, not even, and then with the palette?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. I know.
That's a lot of money,
But
y'all.
this was my first venture into fancy makeup. That will never go anywhere. Next is another MAC eyeshadow palette, which I absolutely adore. This is the Flamboyant palette. Right here. All kinds of beautiful, beautiful shades that are just right up my alley. This is the palette that I bring in if the red eyeshadow that I'm using is just not giving me what I want. So I absolutely adore this palette. Not going anywhere. We'll never get rid of MAC. MAC has my heart, and y'all know it. Next is my Juvia's Place Nubian 3 Coral. Right here, she is very beautiful. We've loved her for a long time. She's going to stay put because I still use this eyeshadow palette on a fairly regular basis. My only other Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette is the Saharan palette right here. I love this eyeshadow palette. This red right here just totally speaks to me, and then the red down here, I love it. I love all these shades. This is just a beautiful eyeshadow palette. Stunning. This white is like perfect for inner corner. Next is Stila in the Light. This I bought a long, long time ago when we first started getting into makeup back in like 2014. But I'm of the belief that if you take care of your eyeshadows, they can last a lot longer. This is Kitten. This shade right here called Sunset used to be one of my favorite lid colors. So I'm gonna keep this one because I love it so much.
I love it so much.
Alright, let's talk about one I am going to be decluttering, and it might surprise a lot of people. Kat Von D Shade Light Eye. Loved this palette so much. Absolutely loved it, but as I've gotten further into makeup and started expanding what I like in makeup, I realized that this palette, I just don't reach for it anymore. I'm not a big fan. I'm not going to keep it. So it is pretty. It does work really well. I even recommended it to a friend when she was like, I want to go buy makeup. What should I buy? And I was like, Kat Von D Shade Light Eye. And she got it and she loved it, but it's just not something I reach for anymore, so this one's going to go bye-bye.
Wow. Bye-bye.
No, I'm being a tiny, tiny bit ruthless here today.
A touch ruthless.
Yeah. Next is my Jeffree Star Androgyny palette. Now, when he first released Beauty Killer, I was not a big fan, and I actually gave that palette away to a friend. Androgyny changed it for me, and I absolutely fell in love with Jeffree Star eyeshadows. So, we'll not be getting rid of this. I still use a lot of these colors to, you know, in my regular makeup usage. Jawbreaker. I loved Jawbreaker. Jessica and I had differing opinions on Jawbreaker. We both liked it, but she was not a huge fan of the blues. I absolutely love and adore all the pinks, oranges, all of that. The yellows and stuff in here are absolutely stunning. The deeper red colors, beautiful. Not going to get rid of this. Love that. And actually will be prepped and ready to purchase Shane's collaboration.
I know where I'm gonna be.
She's going to be trying to get my eyeshadow palettes for me too. So we had a makeup show come through Reno last weekend, and Jessica and I went and picked up a couple eyeshadow palettes and a couple other things. This is by the brand Be Bella. So this is the Be Bella Pro eyeshadow palette in Maroon Mayhem.
That's really pretty.
It is absolutely stunning. I've used this a couple times since I purchased it, and I'm very happy. We got it at a slight discount. I think it was like a 10% discount. So it was super cool to have that little, you know, makeup show come through. Cara Beauty, this is a brand that we follow on Instagram that I absolutely have been wanting. This palette, this is called the Private Island palette. Picked this up at the same makeup show. This is just like, I was looking for this palette, couldn't remember what it looked like, and then as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is it, that's the one I wanted. So had to grab this one, again, at a slight discount because it was at like a little makeup show. And yeah, I'm really, really happy to have this. This is absolutely a beautiful eyeshadow palette. This palette right here, if you saw my Instagram post about it, you're like, okay, Sarah, we know. I have wanted this palette for years and years and years, and I just never pulled the trigger. I never bought this eyeshadow palette. And I finally did it when I got a random text. And I'll be honest, it was during our no-buy. I got a text from Colored Rain that was like, FYI, everything's like 20% off. Yes, even the Queen of Hearts. And I was like, fuck my life. And I bought it, and then I text Jessica and was like, I'm a terrible, horrible person.
She had to confess.
I confessed my sins, and I purchased it, and it took a long time to get to me. I forgot that I'd even ordered it. And when it showed up, I was like, the hell is this? Alright, next is going to be the original Tartelette palette. This is an all matte, more cool toned eyeshadow palette.
God, I love that thing.
It is very pretty, and I took it with me to some training that I did for the military when it first came out, and I really did enjoy it, but I don't use it, so I want to give it away to somebody who's going to use it. So this is going to go in my Declutter.
So rude.
So rude. This is the Kathleen Lights and Colorpop So Jaded palette. This is a palette that I was super pumped about and had to buy. Absolutely wanted to have this so bad, but when I got it, I was a little bit let down. It wasn't as, like...
It's not very rich.
It's not as rich as I liked. It looks rich on camera, and it does look rich in the pan, but when you put it on your eye, it's not the payoff that I was looking for. It was not what I expected. And so it's pretty, but I think I built it up so high in my mind that it just didn't work for me. So I will be decluttering this one.
She will be decluttering that one.
You're not going to take it? I figured you would take it.
Wait, no, you're decluttering, like you're getting rid of it? I want it. I asked you to give it to me. You said you wouldn't give it to me.
There it is. Jessica took it. Alright. Next is my Huda Beauty neon, pink neon palette. So pretty. Love this. Bought this on sale. I think it was 50% off. So yeah, super pumped to have it. I will be keeping this palette.
Here. Move them over here. Move them here. Here. No boopins here. No boopins here. No boopins here. You son of a bitch. No boopins here. It's just Urban Decay. You'll be fine. I have all of them. I will give mine to you.
Okay, so let's move in to the next grouping, guys.
The next grouping, guys.
Alright, this is my Colorpop Honey.
Honey.
I was going to declutter this eyeshadow palette just because I did not particularly care for it until I got the Urban Decay Naked Honey. And this ended up being able, like, I pair those together whenever I use them just because they, Urban Decay doesn't have any matte yellows in the Naked Honey palette.
That's true.
So this tends to work really well with that eyeshadow palette and the other way around. They work well together, so now that I have them, I use them as a team. Keeping.
Teamage.
This is the Milani Bold Obsessions palette. This is a very, very pretty drugstore eyeshadow palette. I really do like this palette. I bought it on clearance. I think it was like $5.
Why was it on clearance though?
I don't know.
I wonder if they do that. If they put
random.
No, makeup that people have returned on clearance.
Ew, I didn't think about that. But
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, because we just saw it there today and it was still being sold at regular price.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do really like this eyeshadow palette. However, I think I'm going to declutter it because it has just been sitting.
That's pretty though.
It's pretty. Alright, next is my Tartelette in Bloom. Right here. This is a very pretty eyeshadow palette. I did use and abuse this eyeshadow palette very greatly, but I don't use it anymore, so I will be decluttering my Tartelette in Bloom. Sad face. I didn't think I was going to do that. I'm a little bit surprised at myself right now. Oh, I don't know what to think. Alright, this is the Dew color. This reminds me of like Captain America, not Captain America.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. And this is the Starlight Goddess.
Probably not Wonder Woman. Is it Wonder Woman?
It's Wonder Woman. Whoa.
Who's the blonde girl? Captain Marvel. That's
Captain
what I'm thinking
Marvel.
of.
I really do like this eyeshadow palette. It is very pretty. It's got some really beautiful shades in there. The reds are really pretty. That yellow is very pretty, but I haven't been using it. So I am going to declutter this.
I want them.
Okay, she won them. Next isn't going anywhere. This is my Norvina Volume 1. This pink.
They're so hard to open.
Right here. I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette.
These palettes they're worth the $60
They
fucking dollars.
really are worth the $60. It's kind of crazy to think about, but they kind of are.
They're really, really pigmented,
They're
beautiful,
super
blendable.
beautiful.
They're amazing.
I love it. Not gonna go anywhere.
Oh.
This is my Norvina Volume 3. This is very pretty. The one issue I have with this is I don't think the shimmers really... I think the shimmers are all way too light. Like you've got this one, that one's kind of got some shimmer to it, this one, and then the greens. I want like a bronzier one, like a deeper bronze shimmer in this palette, but it is absolutely stunning. As soon as I saw this palette, I knew I had to have it. So, bought it, no regrets, just wish it had that, and the packaging is just like unbelievable.
Packaging is crazy.
Alright, the Wet n Wild 40 eyeshadow palette. Right here, this is beautiful, and I love this eyeshadow palette so much. So, this is absolutely beautiful. I do love this eyeshadow palette. I still don't have the James Charles palette. I mentioned in our haul that I wanted to get the James Charles palette to compare it, but then he released the mini, so I might just snatch that one up because it's cheap and do a comparison to see if they're even remotely close to each other. I've seen a lot of videos. They seem like they're close enough, but they're not identical, so he threw a big old temper tantrum for nothing.
Seriously,
love this palette.
though? Like, how bullshit is his mini palette? Just
I
side
know.
note.
Oh my god.
It's the same fudging thing.
It's
Try
the
not to
same
cuss.
Mother Truckin' palette.
Yeah, same Mother Truckin' palette, just tiny. Whatever, bro.
Alright, this right here is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance.
That's boothing.
That is boothing. I absolutely love and adore this palette. She doesn't get as much use, and that's just because I fell out of love with Anastasia and their eyeshadows. But they've started getting me more excited with the Norvina palettes, with my other Anastasia palettes in my collection. So this baby has started getting a lot more use lately. Camera, can you see yourself? Okay. Keeping. My last Anastasia palette right here is the Jackie Aina palette.
So pretty.
This is freaking gorgeous. It is so rich and just jewel toned, and I love this. This is a perfect fall palette. I love this shade down here. I love this one. I love this one, that one. I love the whole palette. I took it with me to Hawaii. Just love it. Love, love, love. Love this palette. I have a Rude Cosmetics eyeshadow palette here. This is the Lingerie Collection Wild Nights. This is a very pretty eyeshadow palette. As you can see, A Boopin got into it. She likes to swatch eyeshadows. She does a pretty good job.
She doesn't normally chunk things, so you know.
She used to, but she's
Oh,
gotten
really
a lot
badly.
better.
When
So,
we go through mine, you'll see the damage.
she's done a lot of damage to Jessica's eyeshadow palettes,
Yeah.
but this one is going to be kept. This is a very pretty all matte eyeshadow palette.
Or
Next is going to be the Tartist Pro eyeshadow palette. This was a Christmas gift for my dog when it first came out. This palette, I remember.
buy you that?
You did.
sweet. You're welcome.
Thanks. This palette caused a bit of controversy about the way it was released. Like, people thought Tarte put too much money into a brand trip for a bunch of influencers and didn't put enough like effort into this palette. I think this palette is beautiful. I don't have any issue with this palette. You can see that I have used and abused, especially that shimmer shade. I love that one. I love this row right here. It's a good palette. It's staying put. I love her.
Staying put, y'all.
Alright. This palette right here was traded. I had the Mega Pro 2 and Jess had the Mega Pro 3, and we traded because we figured they were better suited for the other. And I think I've used this twice. So I'm obviously going to offer it back to Jess if she wants it.
No want 'em.
No want 'em?
No want 'em.
You're okay with me decluttering this?
I'm okay with you decluttering it.
Oh my god.
No want 'em.
At one point she thought I was going to declutter it like a year ago, and she's like, are you getting rid of that? Thought she was going to murder me.
Yeah.
Alright. Next is my Carity, the only palette I own from this brand, Carity Picante palette. I bought this when they had a sale and this was about to release, so I had to have it. And it is stunning. Jessica's trying to drop all my eyeshadows if you just saw the table shake. Gonna keep this. Absolutely love this eyeshadow palette.
It is
It is so pretty.
9 o'clock at night.
You're
My
fine.
bitch ass has no makeup
It's
on.
Saturday night.
It is Saturday night, and this is how I party, okay? Party, 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 in bed by 9. And yet, here I am. Moral support.
Thumbs up. Alright, next palette. Put your thumbs down. Next palette is the Emily the Wants palette from Makeup
It's so
Revolution.
pretty.
It is so pretty, and it has that gigantic ass mirror. You can see the lights. You can see the camera. So this palette right here is a very beautiful everyday use palette. The funny thing is there was a whole bunch of controversy when Tati reviewed this and said that she didn't think it was the best that could have been made, but you know, that she still gave kudos to Emily for releasing such a pretty eyeshadow palette and all this stuff. And as soon as Tati was like, I don't know if I really like it, I was like, okay, then I have to have it.
We don't normally
agree with Tati.
Tati likes. We normally like the things that she doesn't like.
Which is super weird because Tati's eyeshadow palette was purchased by me yesterday.
Hooray!
And then my very last eyeshadow palette is a Z palette, which was purchased before they went all crazy. And it's full of Makeup Geek and I always forget the brand.
What is that brand?
Coastal Scents eyeshadows, and then it's got a Chocolate Soleil and a MAC blush in it, and then the two MAC eyeshadows in it as well. Not gonna get rid of this. Love this. This is my custom palette that I built through Makeup Geek and Coastal Scents. Love that.
I love it.
Guess what? That's it.
She got rid of a lot, y'all.
Alright, so this is the pile of palettes that I will be decluttering right here. There are 17 eyeshadow palettes, so I went from 93 down to 76. Not bad. Pretty proud of myself. Did a good job. I was never going to be one of those cut 50% of my collection in half, but I wanted to declutter and make room because it was starting to overflow again. And I have the Tati palette on the way, and I will be ordering the Jeffree and Sheen collection. I will. I don't care if I have to burn the world down. I'm going to get it. So this will all be going to friends and family. It will be sanitized. Anything that's super old, like these two, will be tossed, and the rest of it will be sanitized and offered out to friends and family, coworkers as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this declutter. If you did, please feel free, give a thumbs up. Where's my thumb? There it is. Thumbs up. Click that subscribe button down below. Click down there. Click that way. And we will see you guys in the next video. Very soon.
Very soon.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.